Hello dear students, this is Industrial Relations and Labor Laws tutorial. This tutorial is in continuation of earlier tutorial 1.4. The topic of the tutorial is Evolution of Industrial Relations in India. So in tutorial 1.4 already I have discussed that the evolution of industrial relations, the timeline of evolution that is classified into four periods or four phases: ancient period, colonial period, post-independence period, and post-liberalization period. In tutorial 1.4, I have detailed the evolution that took place in ancient period and colonial period. Now in this tutorial, I am going to discuss the evolution that has been taking place in the other two periods, that is post-independence period and post-liberalization period. In brief, in ancient period, industrial relation was totally informal and it was non-institutionalized. Gradually, in colonial period, industrial relation become little bit institutionalized. Many rules and regulations come into the picture. Now, we shall learn the development or the changes that took place in industrial relation in the post-independence period and post-liberalization period. Freedom struggle was coincided with a struggle by working class for better industrial relations. The leaders of the struggle, who promises better industrial relations, tried to put in practice those promises after the end of the freedom struggle. Most of those leaders were influenced by socialist and communist philosophies. Therefore, these philosophies got reflected in the Constitution of India. The Constitution guided the spirit of industrial relations in that period. Even the 5-year plans of India also emphasize for the well-being of the working class, cooperation between worker and employer, harmonious industrial relations, workers' rights and workers' participation, welfare state, and many other issues related to development of workers. This was a period when Industrial Policy Resolution 1956 facilitated the growth of public sector undertaking both at the central level and the state level. Through those public sector undertakings, government want to present a role model of industrial relation as model employer. So, in this period, you will find very high intervention of government in industrial relations system. In the year 1957, the voluntary scheme for workers' participation in management and workers' education scheme, and in the year 1958, voluntary code of discipline and voluntary code of conduct were introduced to counteract the unhealthy trends of litigation and delays. In the year 1969, the first National Commission on Labor was formed. In the same year, in nationalized banks, workers' directors are put on board of directors as per Bank Nationalization Act. The post-independence period is noted for workers' militancy and violence. This period also witnessed massive growth of trade unions and plethora of labor legislations in India. Multiplicity of trade unions and plethora of legislations contributed to complexity and confusion, which again result into poor industrial relations. Bitter industrial relations not only between the employers and trade union, but also among the trade unions themselves. The emergency of 1957 also has influence in industrial relations. The Constitution was amended to provide for workers' participation, and Chapter 5B added in Industrial Dispute Act 1947. In the later portion of 1970s and 1980s, Indian judiciary also gave some pro-labor judgments which have tremendous impact in industrial relations. This was the period when amendment in Industrial Dispute Act led to the inclusion of Section 2A, 9A, 11A, 17B and Chapter 5B. Contract Labor Act 1972 was passed. Then comes the period which is classified as post-globalization period. Many changes introduced in the economic system and therefore it influenced the system of industrial relations also. This is the period after 1990s when India ushered new economic policy. In this period, traditional institutions of industrial relations are losing importance and relevance. Trade unions are marginalized and kept outside the mainstream of business. Strike is losing its cutting edge. Section 10, subsection 3 of Industrial Dispute Act has been used for declaring strikes illegal. Employees are going for unitarianism rather than unionism. Collective bargaining is replaced by individual bargaining. Ideological decisions are being replaced by business pragmatism. The roles of the actors of industrial relation change in the changed economic scenario. Pressure from various international bodies like International Labour Organization, World Trade Organization, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, International Labour Standards, all are built upon industrial relations. So they are putting pressure on this system of industrial relations. To summarize, in the process of evolution of industrial relations, the traditional industrial relations system is replaced by a market-determined profile of industrial relations. The power dynamics between the labor and capital, that is, workers and management, got changed from one period to the other. Beginning with the informal or non-institutionalized form of industrial relations in ancient period to institutionalized industrial relation in the colonial period, then well-organized labor associations and employers associations and regulated industrial relations in the post-independence period to marginalized labor associations and supremacy of capitalist power in the wars of unregulated market in the post-liberalization period, the system of industrial relations thus has been evolving. Now, industrial relations are reaching at the age where employee relation is buzzing louder than industrial relation. Now, the word employee relations, which is much wider and much deeper than industrial relation. So, about this terminology, you will learn in another tutorial. So, with this, I am concluding today's tutorial. Thank you.